Use code NateDog for 15% off your next purchase of Adderall. Link in the description.
Dumbest idea ever.
Wow. We're off to a great start here.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
So, if you guys don't know already, which I'm sure many of you do, God of War, a 4-year-old game, has now launched on the PC.
I really do not understand the whole it's 4 years old argument. Like, who cares how old the game is? It's still out. And if it's 4 years old, apparently it's not good anymore.
Something that I was vehemently against, all right? Vehemently against.
And why were you against it?
And I'm thinking to myself, how did this happen? Whose bright numbskull idea was it to release Game of the Year exclusive IP to the PC?
It was Sony's idea, because money.
Whose bright idea was this? And I'm thinking, I finally come across this IGN article, which Cory Barlog, all right? And don't get me started with Cory Barlog. Somehow, this mofo happens to have a child, and he just becomes all retarded and has a freaking Kratos has a child.
Jesus Christ, less than a minute video and you call Cory Barlog retarded. If you're calling someone names here, you immediately lose the argument.
Then the process of him having the child, we don't play that. We don't play anything as far as him, Kratos, actually find a woman to marry and reproduce with, okay? We don't play any of that. We play him with this bastard child or whoever this child is. We don't even know the child is ours, okay? We don't even know. We haven't had a DNA test.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that's a lot to unpack. All right, so first off, DNA test, you think that they would have that kind of shit around in like Norse mythology? Yeah, I know magic and stuff, but I don't know much about Norse mythology. Also, second, this is the second time that Kratos has had a wife and a child. Have you not played the original games?
We won't even get into that, okay? We won't get into how Cory completely screwed up the game, all right? On many levels, many levels.
Well, I wouldn't go as far as saying many levels. Like, God of War is a pretty great game. There are flaws with it, but at the end of the day, it's still a good game, and I definitely recommend it.
But nevertheless, we come to find out that Sony Studios, many Sony Studios, were the one to advocate for this happening.
I mean, why wouldn't they?
All right? They were advocating for, yeah, this is a great idea to release this IP for the PC.
It is a great idea to release it for the PC. That way the people who don't want to buy a PlayStation just to play one game can finally sit down and play it.
Mind-numbing how stupid the people at these studios are. Completely mind-numbing how dumb they are and how genius they can be at making games and implementing it in the Unreal Engine. Okay, it's crazy, the juxtaposition.
So it's mind-numbingly stupid to release a game on a separate platform that doesn't cost as much as building the game from the ground up. So more people can play it, and that Sony can get more money from it. You know, it's a win-win right there.
Well, to be fair, maybe not crazy, because most artists, when it comes to business sense, when it comes to business acumen, freaking brain dead, okay? They can draw a pity picture and animate when it comes to, hey, what do you think about this business idea? Freaking just squirrels, okay? Squirrels. They're as dumb as squirrels. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, of course you don't think that. You're not really thinking about logic here.
All I constantly hear is,
Lucas, it's accessible for everyone. Lucas, what's wrong with making the game accessible? Lucas.
and I'm thinking to myself, what are you talking about?
I don't know what to tell you. Selling a product to more people and then making more money from it. Because a port doesn't cost as much as, you know, building the game from the ground up, like I said. And yeah, it's still very successful. I mentioned this in my last video that God of War is still on #1 for the global top sellers on Steam.
What are you talking about? First off, let's pause. All this energy about accessibility and blah, 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 blah. I don't play consoles. I don't buy consoles. I only buy PC. And okay, all that energy, use that for Nintendo, okay?
What the fuck does Nintendo have to do with this?
I want all this energy to be focused on Nintendo because I want you to tell Nintendo to bring Mario to the PC and see what they tell you.
That bullshit!
Well, we already do have Mario on the PC. You know, Yuzu emulator, like I mentioned in my last video. You know, could do that.
I find it interesting that all this energy is focused on PlayStation. Okay, we want to overlook Nintendo, but PlayStation, they're the ones that need to bring their IPs to the PC, Lucas. They're the ones. Miss me with that freaking nonsense.
Because they're the ones that are actually doing the PC ports. So, of course, our focus is on them right now.
And secondly, accessibility. This is a 4-year-old game. What are you talking about accessibility? You had 4 years to get a copy of God of War, all right? Miss me with that nonsense.
And you had, like, what, a few months to cope with the fact that God of War was coming to PC? Seems like it didn't work out very well for you.
And furthermore, God of War was released on the PS5 and the PS4.
PlayStation 5 accessible.
The same thing with Miles Morales, PS5 and the PS4. In many cases, these games were actually held back in order to make it accessible for those who couldn't access a PS5. And you want to tell me in these 4 years you couldn't access a PS4? That's what you want to tell me? Miss me with this nonsense, all right?
Again, people don't want to spend a few $100s just for a console just to play one game. Like, people's interest in PlayStation exclusives are like either all of it, some of it, maybe one game and stuff. It's all over the place. All right? Like, I know a few people who are not interested in God of War, like, at all. They're happy that it's on PC, so more people get to play it, but they're still not interested in the game. I have a few friends that only want Spider-Man. I have a few friends that only want Bloodborne, you know? They're not going to spend a few $100s just to play that one game.
It has nothing to do with accessibility.
Releasing it on more platforms does make it more accessible, especially on PC, since it could be reserved for God knows how long.
Because you guys had more than enough time to access a freaking PS4 to play God of War if that's what you really want to do.
Again, they're not going to spend a few $100s just to play one game. I don't know how many times I need to keep repeating myself.
And you want to tell me these people were so anticipating, hey, I want to support the developers. Have you heard that nonsense?
Oh, Lucas, I want to support the developers. That's why.
No, if you wanted to support the developers, you would have gotten a PlayStation console. That's what you would have gotten. And then you would have then purchased God of War.
No.
Miss me with this crazy cuckoo, caca nonsense, this fluff coming out these mofos, freaking their lord butts, okay? Have you ever seen a PC gamer? These guys are just the freaking dregs of society, of the gaming community.
I'm not mad that he's throwing these kind of insults towards PC gamers like me. I'm more disappointed with the fact that he's not very original about it. Like, here's a quick lesson on bullying. If you really want to, like, harass someone or, really trying to get under their skin and shit like that, and if you're not going to put any amount of, like, effort into it, then don't fucking do it. Jesus Christ. Hang on. I'm going to go get a beer.
That's what these people are. So maybe they're right. Maybe getting God of War it wasn't accessible to them because they can't get their large butts out of their house.
Well, it seems like you can't cope with the fact that God of War is now on PC and there's nothing you can do about it. That would require brain cells. Now see, you've got me doing it. It's like the old saying goes, never argue with idiots. They'll drag you down to their level and beat you with experience.
Maybe they're right, okay? Maybe that is true. They couldn't access God of War, all right? Because that consists of walking, okay? That consists of some type of movement other than clicking and getting freaking chronic pain from your wrist doing this, okay?
Oh, geez, I don't have fucking chronic pain. Huh.
Because we all know that's the only movement these PC gamers do, is this and then this, and that's it. That's their life in a nutshell, okay?
Like, again, if you're going with the insulting shit, like, be creative. Like, you're resulting to, like, the lowest common denominator in terms of insults. Fucking hell, man. Nobody's original these days.
Now we have such ludicrous, ideas floating in the ether talking about, hey, you want to know what? All PlayStation IP should go to the PC. All PlayStation should have a PC release on day one.
Yeah, they should. Sony exclusives mainly just have a target demographic of like a casual gamer, and there's nothing wrong with that. If there's like a lot of people that are casual gamers and then bringing that over to the PC, which, surprise, surprise, still has casual gamers, then yeah, obviously, then it's going to rake in a lot of cash.
What?
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 Mr. Garrison, haven't you figured it out? Timmy's retarded.
If that happens, you want to know what I want? I want a letter from Sony, okay? Dear Amazing Lucas, okay? Dear PlayStation owner, dear PlayStation 5 owner, f*** you. Sincerely, PlayStation. That's what I want, okay? I would like that in the mail, okay? That's not too much to ask. That's all I would need. Or an email.
I don't even know who you are.
That is the dumbest thing I can possibly imagine. Because at that point, why would I even have a PS5, right? Why would I get the next console?
You would buy it to play games. Not exclusive games, because if you're doing it just for that, again, I don't know how many times I need to fucking like say this over and over again. If you buy a console just for one game or just for a select amount of games, it's a bad use of your money. And once again, I'm not here to tell you what you should and shouldn't spend your money on. I just do not recommend it.
Right? What? That doesn't make any sense to me. For what purpose? I would just get a PC.
Then why don't you get a PC? Oh, wait.
And we all know if it's on PC, it's eventually going to get pirated. We all know. We just have to wait for it to be cracked.
Wow, I'm kind of surprised it took him this long to actually mention pirating. Huh. Also, buying pre-owned games benefits the developers in the same way that pirating games does. That's a conversation you guys just don't want to have.
So if you think, me spending $80 or whatever, or how much ever they want to charge, okay, $70, $80 depending on the edition that comes out.
Ugh. $70. Spending $70 on a game is just terrible, man. Like, yeah, I love the Demon's Souls remake, but holy fuck.
Or me waiting, I don't know, maybe 2 to 3 days until it gets cracked and paying nothing? What do you think most people are going to do? And miss me with this, support the developers, support the... People, okay, miss me with that nonsense. People are about supporting their pockets, okay?
#1 global top seller even a few days after its release.
The only people I notice who say this are kids living in their mom's basement, all right? Support the developers, support the developers.
So what do you want?
So it's not going to help the developers because you also have to take into account pirating.
It's also not going to help the developers when you're buying pre-owned games.
Which, guess what? God of War is currently being pirated. Duh.
You can also pirate console games. Duh.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Congratulations, you're misinformed.
And then lastly, all these PC players, right? All these PC players talk like they have the top end, the top tier of PC desktops. They don't, okay? I don't know why people are talking about PC. Most of these fools don't have a PC powerful enough to run God of War on Ultra, okay?
Like, honestly, who the fuck is gonna unironically like run these games on Ultra settings? I'm a frame rate whore, so, you know, I'm not going to run it in ultra settings. I'm not even running it on ultra settings. I'm using the medium to high settings. And I'm getting really good frames, and I'm really happy about it. And we also don't need to play on ultra settings.
Because that's the only reason that you would get it, okay? It's as far as the graphics, the graphical comparison. And if you look at the graphics, yeah, there's a difference between the PS5 and the PC, but you're not going to be able to experience it.
Of course I can experience it. I go into the menu, I press settings, click graphics, and then switch it to ultra.
Okay? Because you don't have a 5,000 or 4,000 PC, you dummy. All these freaking mofos acting like they're all PC elitists. No, you're a PC pleb. You're a PC peasant, okay?
And you're a console peasant.
Most of you don't even have a 3090 or anything close to that, all right?
I don't need a 3090 right now, so there's no reason for me to get it.
Talking about, well, we need to release it on PC. Why?
So more people can play it.
You're not going to see any graphical difference on your monitor, okay?
Well, I have 4 eyes, so obviously I will be able to see the difference.
You're not. A very small percentage will, but it's not you. The majority won't.
I'm sorry, eyes. Apparently, I can't see the difference. You're just wrong.
So what are you talking about? Release it on PC. Why don't you Make better choices with your money and just get a PS4, okay?
Why don't you make a better choice and not tell people what they should and shouldn't spend their money on?
That way, you could have experienced this game 4 years early instead of waiting to have the same experience that most console players already had.
Most console players?
We're on God of War 2, pimpin'. I bet you catch up.
I'll catch up when it eventually gets released on PC. Actually, no. I'm still going to be playing Ragnarok on PS5, but if it's a good game, I'll get it again on PC. That's just how I am.
Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think.
This video is terrible and you should feel bad about it.